I'm Colonel Jim Sizemore, Chief of HRC's Officer Readiness Division. Our division is responsible for the annual distribution of approximately 30,000 officers and warrant officers across the Army. We accomplish this task using priorities established by the Chief of Staff of the Army G1, and the Commander of HRC. Additionally, we work with the commanders in the field and their strength managers to balance the individual unit requirements against the CSA's manning guidance metric. We do not make decisions in a vacuum, but we work with our strength managers to ensure units are supported to the highest possible levels. We prepared this short video to give you insight into a very robust system that balances the needs of the Army and the professional development needs of our officer corps. The intent of this video is to pull back the proverbial curtain and give you a glimpse into the actions taken by HRC to man your formations. Whether you are Installation G1 or New Battalion S1, the following segments will assist you in understanding our officer distribution system. During this video, we will discuss Mission Essential Requirements from the Field, or MRR, the Distribution Requirements List, or DRL, and conclude with a mock manning conference where our officer and civilian account managers will demonstrate the formal process we use in our officer manning conference. Again, we hope this is time well spent as we demonstrate how we work to take care of our nation's most valuable resource, its people.
The officer manning process is an informed, engaged, and rigorous process that ultimately enables the assignment of individual officers to positions across the Army in accordance with established priorities that fulfill specific requirements and at the time that is most advantageous to the gaining command. The manning process consists of 4 phases that follow the military decision-making process. First is the preparation phase. During this phase, we identify all Army requirements and the available officer population. Second is the validation phase. During this phase, we validate the officer distribution plan in accordance with the Army manning guidance. Next is the execution phase. This is when we actually man the force. We do so by prioritizing unit needs while also balancing the officer's personal and professional considerations. Last is the assess-maintain phase. This phase takes place concurrently throughout the manning process. During this phase, we monitor unit strengths, evaluate distribution execution, respond to emergent requirements, and communicate with the field. The manning process is executed in 2 manning cycles a year that cover 6-month reporting windows. Analysis is continuous throughout the cycle. OPMD's goal is to fulfill all requirements in the first 90 days of the execution phase and to provide officers notification of assignment at least 120 days prior to the report date. Now that we have covered the overall scheme of maneuver, let's look at each phase in detail. The purpose of the preparation phase is to identify worldwide Army requirements and the available officer population. This phase begins when Operations and Plans Branch identifies all requirements in a consolidated format called the Distribution Requirements List, or DRL, by analyzing documented authorizations such as the PMAD, UAD, TDA, and MTOs, and other resourced authorizations such as DMOs and DA directed fills, while applying the Army manning guidance. The DRL is further refined by the account managers, who apply and analyze the Army manning guidance, unit projected strengths, unit mission essential requirements, or MER, field grade slates, and the patch chart sync matrix to complete the initial DRL. The end state of this step is the completion of the initial DRL. Simultaneously, assignment officers, in collaboration with Operations and Plans Branch, confirm the officers identified to move, or OIMs. Identified officers are vetted based on time on station, unit considerations, and numerous professional development and personnel considerations. The end state of this step is to validate the number of OIMs. At the conclusion of these 2 events, the initial DRL is staffed utilizing a wargame process to determine probable consequences of potential actions, reactions, and counteractions during the manning conference. During the initial action step, account managers and Ops and Plans Branch build the DRL and prioritize the requirements based on needs of the Army. Requirements of units that are not meeting Army manning guidance metrics will be competed as Manning Guidance Priority 1. All other units will be competed under Manning Guidance Priority 2. Special consideration is given to 1 deep positions, primary staff, and mission-critical requirements that, if left unvalidated, directly cause a clear and distinct negative impact to the unit's ability to accomplish its assigned mission. During the reaction step, assignment officers staff and provide feedback on the DRL based on the needs of the officers. Lastly, the counteraction requires account managers to analyze the assignment officer feedback, then validate and categorize any added requirements from the assignment officers. Any requirements that are no longer valid are then removed from the DRL. The preparation phase ends when the wargame DRL is approved by the Officer Readiness Division Chief. This leads us into the validation phase.
The purpose of the validation phase is to validate the officer distribution plan in accordance with the Army Manning Guidance. This phase starts with the distribution of the branch immaterial estimates to the assignment divisions as analyzed during the DRL wargame. Assignment divisions will then further distribute the estimated branch immaterial requirements to the assignment branches prior to the start of the Manning Conference. The biannual Manning Conference is OPMD's primary method of officer distribution. This is the first time Officer Readiness Division and the assignment divisions sit down at the same time to staff and validate the DRL, ensuring units are meeting Army Manning Guidance while also satisfying the professional and personal needs of the officers. The intent of the conference is a frank and open discussion between ORD and the assignment divisions on how to accomplish the mission. Throughout the Manning Conference, account managers are the primary representatives of the units, while the assignment officers are the primary representatives of the officers' professional and personal needs. However, everyone works together in the adjudication process. Let me briefly orient you inside the Manning Conference room. The conference itself is broken out into two formalized distributions. Hard-coded billets are addressed first, one branch at a time, and one assignment desk at a time, followed by a separate conference that addresses branch immaterial billets. In both events, the distribution branch will first adjudicate Manning Guidance 1, then Manning Guidance 2 requirements, followed by any on-the-spot additions to the DRL. An equal number of requirements will be validated for every OIM declared. In the next clip, we will take you inside of the Manning Conference room. In the front of the room, you will notice the distribution branch chief, who has been delegated the decision authority to validate requirements. He receives input from the assignment officer and, if available, the assignment branch chief, all of whom sit at the head table. To the right and left of the head table are the representatives from the assignment branch and distribution branch, who provide additional support and guidance while keeping accountability of the results. In the rear of the room, you will notice the account managers, who are constantly giving feedback on their unit needs. Now, let's take a look.
We're here for the 1401 Manning Conference. Have any questions before we get started?
No, sir. Ready to go.
Okay. How many officers do you have available to move for this cycle?
Sir, I have 25 OAMs this Manning cycle, 15 that need a KD job, 10 that need a broadening assignment.
Okay, so they declared 29 in OM validation.
That's correct. I lost 2 OAMs to a brigade KD job, 1 extended overseas, and then 1 I lost to a shotgun nomination. That brings it back down to 25.
25, okay.
All right, sir, well, let's run with that.
Okay, 25, good with that. How many immaterials do you have?
I've got 5 immaterials, sir.
5 branch materials, okay. Any open, unfilled requisitions from last cycle?
No, sir. 100% filled.
Okay, so no open. So we have 20 hard code that we will distribute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Lee, let's go to the DRL and sort by Manning Guidance 1 requirements.
Yes, sir, we have 18 MG1s.
Okay, 18 Manning Guidance 1, and you have 20 we're going to distribute. Okay, let's go ahead and keep all of those.
Sir, I had 2 of those MG1s as deletes due to officers extending. One was DMSL H25 and the other was 3CH Sam H25. Major Bluff just got approved for a high school stabilization, so he's going to stay.
Okay, sir, if he's not going to move, then there's no requirement there.
And then also Major Matthews at 1st Cav is going to move internally to fill a 3CH vacancy once he's KD complete.
Okay, sir. Yeah, if he's going to move internally, we also don't need a rec to 3rd Corps,
Okay.
sir.
All right, let's go ahead and delete those 2 MG1 requirements. So tracking in 16 Manning Guidance 1 requirements currently.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at MG2s, Lee.
Sir, we have 30 MG2s.
Okay, Jeff, those 30, which ones do you need to fill? Do you have any broadening opportunities or
Yes, sir.
KD requirements?
4 MG2s I need of DMSLs, E1H, JTC, SET, and H7I. The first 3 are broadening assignments, and the last one I need to get a MACP officer to Fort Lewis.
Okay. Account managers, any compelling issues?
Sir, can you take a look at 1AW? I'm tracking that they're going to be 0-4 field grades at Fort Hood. We didn't keep any of the lieutenant colonels, so I think we need to keep one of the majors. That's the command's #1 priority on the MER.
Hey, sir, yeah, look at the top of this. They need to. They're below metric, and they're 50%, and most of the majors they have there are Vismont majors, so we need to get the KD majors in there. I recommend we go ahead and keep that.
Keep one, okay. Okay, let's go ahead and keep one of the 1AWs. And then Jack, can you check on E1H and SET?
We can delete the SET. The command's working a fill with the 173rd of a KD complete major, Major Smith. It's a no-cost move, but I am going to need a rec for that so I can move him to DMSL SET.
What we can do, exactly what she said, as long as was not an OAM, we'll just build it as a requirement with no OAM. So we'll keep it, but won't count against his total OAM count. So I'd say we keep it.
Okay, I'm good with that. What about E1H?
E1H, sir. Yeah, there are 2 of 4 for 50% majors, but they have an excess lieutenant colonels. Sam, what are the guys looking like coming out of 5th Corps?
Yes, sir. There should be 1 coming across from 5th Corps, which would make them about 3 or 4 for this summer.
Okay, so based on that, let's go ahead and delete the E1H. Account managers, any other issues, any other compelling issues? I think we have 1 OAM left. Okay, what about you, Jeff? You have any ads you want to add to the DRL?
Yes, sir. I do have 1 ad. I wanted to add 1 OAM to 42F. That unit is standing up, and they need a staff.
Sure, I concur with that addition. 3rd Eddie's only going to be able to provide 1 internal fill, and they're authorized 4. So if we get them an additional, that'll be 100%.
Okay. So let's go ahead and keep the 1 to 42nd Fire Brigade. And then that should, by my count, I think that puts us at 20 hard codes that we distributed.
Sir, we're at 20.
20, okay. Any alibis from the account managers? Okay, Jeff, sure, any alibis for you?
Sir, we're looking good.
Looking good? Okay, I think that's it.
Once the hard code conference adjourns, the distribution branch rebalances the DRL to ensure the maximum number of units are meeting Army manning guidance, and the assignment branches have not over-allocated OIMs and would therefore be unable to fulfill their branch immaterial obligations. The branch immaterial conference is similar in procedure to the hard code conference. MG1 branch immaterial requirements are discussed based on updated unit strength projections, which incorporate the hard code conference results. Upon completion, the assignment division will then distribute the final branch immaterial requirements to the assignment branches. Once the conference is completed, ORD will prepare the conference outbrief to the OPMD director. Once the director approves the distribution plan, account managers build the requisitions, and then assignment divisions are able to assign officers on RFOs. Distribution branch also executes supplemental distributions as needed to man documented and resource requirements as a result of centralized board results, emergent requirements, nominative assignments, and the home base and advanced assignment program. During this process, the distribution branch maximizes the use of the approved DRL to fill unvalidated requirements outside of the manning conference.
Now, let's take a look at the execution phase. The purpose of the execution phase is to man the force in accordance with the officer distribution plan approved by the OPMD director. After approval of the plan, account managers will build the requisitions for the approved requirements, while assignment officers finalize their assignment slate and then place officers on RFOs. OPMD's goal is to fulfill all requirements in the first 90 days of the execution phase and assign all officers on request for orders approximately 120 days prior to report date. Occurring simultaneously throughout the manning process is the assess and maintain phase. During this phase, we monitor unit strengths, evaluate distribution execution, respond to emergent requirements, and communicate with the field. During this phase, we also conduct a midpoint review to obtain a status update on unfilled cycle requirements, resolve changes in validity of approved requirements, and reconcile adjustments of OIMs. OPMD also conducts a monthly update on cycle fulfillment progress. In summary, the end state of the officer manning process is achieved when the Army manning guidance is met, valid Army requirements are fulfilled, and individual officer professional development objectives are satisfied.
Thank you for spending time with us as we describe the Officer Manning Conference process. Although relatively easy to demonstrate in this short video, our distribution process is a complex and at times contentious process where our division's account managers work with HRC's assignment officers to meet the requirements of our Army. In this video, we work to convey the numerous factors that impact the assignment process. As we close, I would like to highlight a few intangibles for you to consider. First, your input into the process is critical. Whether serving as a commander, G1 or S1, or strength manager, your ability to articulate your organization's needs in a prioritized manner enables our team to better serve you. In order to accomplish our core tasks, we must be synchronized in our efforts. Second, precision manning and fiscal discretion are the foundation of our distribution system. This demands a true understanding of unit needs and acknowledgement that HRC mans organizations to the highest levels possible within the constraints of our officer population. This process is a zero-sum game for our Army. A final takeaway is the need for continuous communications. We will remain transparent and candid in our dialogue. We believe that continuous contact with your command benefits your organization and ours as we move forward. In closing, thank you for your time. Our division seeks to assist, advise, and act in a manner that fosters teamwork with you and all commands in the field. We appreciate your efforts and look forward to working with you in the future. Total Army, total victory, Army strong.